Evolution has played a huge role in the development of the variety of organisms that we have on Earth. It has decided the fate of all populations on Earth, whether they succeed or fail. 4 factors provide evidence that evolution existed: fossils, biogeography, DNA and proteins, and anatomy. They provide a wider understanding of the world around us, from then to now. Fossils can show how a population has changed over a long period of time into their present-day bone structure, such as whales. Whales started in the ocean, but slowly made their way onto land. They grew hip bones because they needed to walk on land. As time went by, they went back into the water, where they stayed, because they could walk on land. They still have their hip bone, but it isn't used at all, and just lays useless in the body. Biogeography is the study of the distribution of plants and animals across a large plot of land. Scientists observe islands the most because they are more condensed than larger ecosystems on the mainland. Researchers use a group of finches for research because they were spread out along a chain of islands. On each island, each bird has adapted to that specific environment with a different beak. The birds with the beaks more fit for their island were able to get food and live. Soon all the birds would be different from the original first generation. DNA and proteins can tell which organisms have a common ancestor because if they both have similar DNA as the organism that isn't around anymore, then that means that they both evolved from that distant ancestor. If they have similar DNA, then they will produce similar proteins and they will have similar facial features and muscle build. For example, all dog breeds are descendants of the gray wolf. This can be tested by doing a DNA test of one dog breed and the gray wolf. The DNA would have a lot of nucleotides in common.
Anatomy can prove that 2 organisms are related if they have homologous structures. The rock hyrax, the elephant, and the manatee all have similar anatomy. They all have testicles that are inside the body, very long pregnancies, and very similar skeletal structures. Because they have all of these is the way we know that they are related. But the porcupine and the hedgehog both use spikes all over their bodies, yet they aren't related and don't have a recent common ancestor. These traits are called analogous. The sigil traits are ones that have no use, like a whale's femur or a human appendix. In conclusion, proof of evolution can be found using those 4 methods. They have allowed us to better understand the world around us, from things that are still around today to things we would have never imagined ever existed.